Hello.
Could we start the next point on our agenda, which is our speed hearing related to European youth event that took place back in May, and Mr. Jose Maria.
To introduce online voting as an additional setting to normal voting.
It's great to have the ability to present this to the committees. Usually you go to such big events, you have a draft document at the end, and then that's it. So what I think is very, very important here is that MEPs have to tackle these issues in their committees, and I think that's a very, very big advantage.
I thought they were engaged into our conversation and in our dialogue. They retweeted us, they asked us questions, and we actually had quite tough debates and arguments on specific issues, like it was the lowering voting age. And what I feel is that they actually listened to us and they invited us more. Some MEPs said that this should be a regular way to dialogue with us, a regular way to consult us in cultural or educational matters and so on.
I was really, really surprised. I'm used to going to different youth events where they invite the young people to come and speak, and it often feels like they're just inviting us because then they can say, oh, well, then we did something with youth. But these MEPs, they seemed genuinely interested, they seemed involved. I could hear it from the way they had follow-up questions to what I said. You really need to listen to have follow-up questions like that. So it was an honor to come in and speak to them and see that they were genuinely interested in what you were saying.
No man is good enough to govern another man, Abraham Lincoln said. Participation in free election is a fundamental human right.
Thank you. Mike Ruiz.
That makes then simply participation and democracy.
Yo creo que es algo a lo que sí tenemos que ser valientes y tender.
But there are people who are studying abroad or away from home that are not able to vote.
One of the main ideas was that nearly all of the people at the event, whom we're representing here, they tend to give the European Parliament a right to initiative, because the European Parliament is one of the largest parliaments in the world, but the only one that is known that has no right to initiative.
Today I talked about a unified voting system and especially about voting at 16.
I started by presenting online voting systems. So I basically said you should introduce online voting as a supplement to normal voting, both for national and European elections.
The second idea was about introducing the referenda at European level.
The second point I presented was giving the European Union something that has been discussed for 20 or 20 plus years, giving it a European Union constitution.
How to include youth in the European institutions. And in the European Youth event, they always said, oh, we need quotas or we don't need quotas. I don't think you need any quotas to involve the youth. Instead, you could just elect youth advisors from 28 member states to advise the MEPs from their own countries on youth issues from their own countries. The youth advisor will also be participating in the sessions and keeping an eye.
The European Parliament is one of the biggest parliaments in the world, elected by millions of people representing people from 28 member countries.
But this way we have a permanent place where we can come and advise you.
Now we start with Ramón Jauregui Atondo, the first question or comments.
Como acaba de decir nuestro último interviniente, hace falta que efectivamente el sistema parlamentario europeo.
I think it's definitely the kind of the spirit I usually get when I'm in the European Parliament. I'm here like once a year or 2 times a year. It's kind of the spirit to be in the heart of something, where something happens. Like this is like not kind of the capital of Europe, but the heart of Europe, and that's always something that I enjoy bringing back home.
Yes, I will take everything back home. I will try to talk to the Ministry of Youth and Sports, the Ministry of Education, and all the other stakeholders in order to understand that we need to step forward and do our public policy together and create great laws and regulations for young people.
They do believe in us, they do believe we can do all this voluntarily, they do believe we can do it in NGOs, but when it comes to doing it on the same serious level as they are, they become a little bit hesitant, and we don't know if it's because of the money issues or something else. But I will go home and I will push for this in my own country and start by saying, hey, now I will show you the role model of this program because it works in Denmark, and then go back and push for it on a European level.
use the contagion effect, which youth usually have, to share it with others. And thanks a lot, and all the best for you. Thank you.